Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Today, I want to talk about a simple but powerful idea. You have to attract success to yourself. Success is not something that randomly falls into our laps. It's not just about luck or being in the right place at the right time. Success is something we prepare for, work for, and most importantly, attract through our mindset, our actions, and our attitude. Think of yourself as a magnet. What you focus on, you attract. If you focus on growth, learning, and determination, then success will naturally be drawn to you. But if you focus on fear, doubt, or negativity, you'll push opportunities away. To attract success, you need clarity of vision. Know what you want. Then, take action every day that moves you closer to that goal. Be consistent. Be disciplined. And most of all, believe in your ability to achieve. Success is not just about hard work. It's also about the energy you give off. Positive people, big thinkers, and problem solvers. They attract success because they carry the mindset of a winner. So remember, don't just chase success blindly. Become the kind of person success wants to find. Improve yourself. Build confidence. Keep learning. Help others. Stay true to your values. These are the things that pull success in your direction. In the end, success is not a destination. It's something you attract by the person you become.
Thank you.
Success is something we all desire, isn't it? But here's the truth most people miss. Success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. When you constantly chase success, it can feel frustrating and exhausting. The more you run after it, the more it seems to slip away. But when you shift your focus to becoming the kind of person who naturally draws success, something powerful happens. You stop chasing, and success starts coming to you. So let me ask you this, what kind of person are you becoming? Because that's where everything starts. What does it mean to be a person who attracts success? It begins with building your character, refining your habits, and strengthening your mindset. Success is drawn to certain qualities: discipline, perseverance, integrity, generosity. It's drawn to those who bring value to others. People who are always learning, growing, and striving to become better. Success is magnetized to people who live with purpose, who set goals and work toward them with intention and focus. Let's talk about goals. You can't attract success if you're unclear about what you want. Many people drift through life with no direction and then wonder why success never finds them. Here's why. Success doesn't come to those who wander. It comes to those with clear, specific, and meaningful goals, and the willingness to pay the price to achieve them. What's that price? Time, energy, discipline, sacrifice. But it all starts with clarity. So, let me ask you, if I asked you right now, what's your 5-year goal? Could you answer with confidence? Could you give a specific and compelling answer? If not, then that's your starting point. Because without clarity, you won't take the right actions. And without action, there are no results. Clarity leads to action. Action leads to results. The road to success won't be easy. It rarely is. But when you're clear about your direction, at least you'll know you're heading the right way. Consistency and discipline. The real secret, success comes to those who take steady, focused action toward their goals, even when things get hard. And they will get hard. But here's a truth that's changed lives. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. That's why your focus shouldn't just be on success itself, but on becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The bigger your vision, the bigger the challenges you'll face. But those challenges aren't roadblocks. They're growth opportunities. They're here to make you better. A personal story. From nothing to everything years ago, I was 25. I was broke. I had no money in my pocket, nothing in the bank, and not much hope. Then I met a mentor, Mr. Schoaf, who said something that changed my life. If you want things to change, you have to change. If you want life to get better, you have to get better. That hit me hard. I realized I had been waiting for my circumstances to change. But what I needed was to change me. I was both the problem and the solution. So I started working on myself, reading, learning, seeking mentors, developing better habits. And as I changed, my life changed. The opportunities changed. The people I attracted changed. Everything changed. Why? Because I became the kind of person success is drawn to. The power of habits. If you want to shape your future, shape your habits. You can have all the motivation in the world, but if your daily habits don't match your goals, you're going to struggle. You can't get fit by eating junk food and skipping the gym. Likewise, you can't succeed if your habits don't reflect discipline, focus, and effort. Successful people have success habits. They read, they plan, they act, they reflect, they wake up early, they stay focused, they remain consistent. Consistency is key. It's not about doing something impressive once. It's about doing the right things consistently, over time. Mindset. Your inner foundation, your mindset is the soil where everything grows. If your mind is full of fear, doubt, or limiting beliefs, success will be hard to reach. You must believe that you can grow, succeed, and become more. Because if you don't believe it, no one else will. Now, belief alone isn't enough, but belief is the starting point. Your future depends on your mindset. If you believe you're stuck, you'll stay stuck. But if you believe you can improve, you will. Your mind shapes your world. So, how do you build a stronger mindset? By feeding it the right information. Be intentional about what you allow into your thoughts. Avoid negativity. Avoid fear-driven voices. Instead, surround yourself with growth-minded people. Read books that inspire you. Listen to voices that challenge and uplift you. Because your mind absorbs everything around it. Make sure it's being filled with fuel, not fear. Final thought: success isn't something distant and unreachable. It's not luck. It's not reserved for a chosen few. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Start becoming that person today. In today's world of instant messaging and immediate access to knowledge, it's easy to fall into the trap of expecting success to be just as fast. But here's the truth: genuine, lasting success doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow and steady climb, built step by step over time. The only way to truly reach it is by being patient with the journey. There's an old expression: haste makes waste. When you rush through the process, you miss out on the valuable lessons, the growth, and ultimately, the success itself. But patience doesn't mean sitting around doing nothing. It's the understanding that as long as you're putting in the work, the outcomes will eventually show. It's about trusting that your consistent effort will build up and pay off. That's the magic of compounding. Small, repeated actions, done consistently, can lead to extraordinary results over time. Just like planting a seed. If you keep watering it day after day, eventually it transforms into a tree. The same is true for your goals. Every small effort, every disciplined habit, every slight improvement, it all stacks up. That's why patience, when paired with consistency, is a powerful formula for success. Now let's dive into another key ingredient: persistence. If patience is your ability to wait, persistence is your refusal to quit. You won't reach your full potential without it. Life is going to throw curveballs. You'll face setbacks, hit dead ends, and question if it's even worth continuing. But trust me, Persistence always wins in the long run. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't often comes down to one trait: persistence. Successful people aren't always the most gifted or the most brilliant, but they are relentless. They don't quit. They don't let challenges break them. They keep moving forward, no matter how tough it gets. So ask yourself this: are you willing to stumble on your path to success? Can you keep pushing when things fall apart? Because if you're not ready to persist through hardship, success will always stay out of reach. You need resilience. You need mental toughness. You need to rise every time you fall. Success isn't for those who never fail. It's for those who never give up. But persistence isn't just about grinding endlessly. It has to be purposeful. Working hard without direction is like sprinting on a treadmill. Lots of movement, but no progress. You need a plan, a vision, and the wisdom to know when to change tactics. Sometimes, it's not about trying harder. It's about trying differently. Real persistence means staying committed to your outcome, but being open to changing your strategy. That's a key trait of successful individuals: adaptability. They're not tied to one way of doing things. They stay open to better methods, fresh ideas, and smarter systems. Why? Because things change. The world evolves. What got you results yesterday might not work tomorrow. And if you're not willing to grow with it, you'll get left behind. The most successful people evolve with the times. They update their skills, explore new opportunities, and keep learning. Adaptability fuels success. When I first got into business, I had this fixed idea of how things should play out. I believed that hard work alone would get me where I wanted to go. But reality had other plans. Sometimes my strategies fell flat. My growth stalled, and I had a choice: keep forcing what wasn't working or make changes. Thankfully, I chose to evolve. I learned new marketing techniques, developed better communication, and restructured how I managed my time and resources. And that shift changed everything. Success didn't come the way I originally imagined. It came through flexibility and willingness to adjust. So ask yourself, can you adapt when things don't go your way? Are you open to shifting your strategy when the old one fails? Because life will rarely follow your script, and those who succeed aren't the ones with the perfect plan. They're the ones who can pivot when needed. Let's move to another essential quality: a positive attitude. If you want to attract success, your mindset matters. And I'm not talking about blind optimism. I'm talking about choosing to see opportunities instead of obstacles, and staying hopeful even when the road gets tough. A positive attitude draws good things into your life. It attracts people, situations, and outcomes that move you closer to your goals. Negativity, on the other hand, repels progress. It's like trying to grow a flower in a bed of thorns. It just doesn't work. Staying positive doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means facing them with the belief that solutions exist. It's about finding the lesson in every challenge and focusing on what's possible instead of what's wrong. And when you do that consistently, you not only build success, you build character. And character is what sustains success over the long term. Because success without integrity, resilience, or self-awareness is shallow. But success built on strong character is unshakable. So how do you stay positive? It starts with what you choose to focus on. If your mind is always dwelling on what's missing or what's broken, negativity will take root. But if you consciously look for what's working, what's improving, and what you're thankful for, you'll start to feel positive energy growing. What you focus on grows. Start training your mind to focus on what's good. Look for the silver lining. Be intentionally grateful. Because gratitude is the foundation of a strong mindset. A grateful person naturally attracts more good into their life. Here's a simple practice each day. Jot down 3 things you're thankful for. Doesn't have to be life-changing. Just anything that brings you joy or peace. It could be your loved ones, your health, or even a quiet moment in your day. Over time, you'll train your brain to notice more of the good, and the more you appreciate, the more good flows your way. A grateful heart attracts opportunities, progress, and even miracles. Gratitude creates momentum. It fuels a winning mindset. And finally, we come to one of the most critical ingredients of success: taking full ownership of your life. No excuses. No blaming. No playing the victim. The most successful people take complete responsibility for their circumstances. They understand they may not control everything that happens to them, but they do control how they respond, and that's what shapes their future. Too many people waste energy blaming others, their parents, the system, the economy, their boss, their spouse. But here's the truth: the more you blame, the more power you give away. Ownership is power. When you accept full responsibility, you regain control of your life and your direction. Successful people don't wait for perfect conditions. They create them. They don't depend on others to fix their problems. They step up and make things happen. Now let me be clear. This isn't about being harsh on yourself when things go wrong. It's about recognizing your role, learning from the experience, and making better choices moving forward. Because you will fail sometimes. That's part of the journey. But instead of blaming or quitting, take a hard look at what you can change. That's how you grow. That's how you win. Ask yourself this: what can I learn from this? What could I have done differently? How can I grow from this experience? That's what personal responsibility looks like. It's about viewing every obstacle as a chance to learn, using every failure as fuel to come back stronger, smarter, and better prepared for what's next. When I first started my journey, I made plenty of mistakes. But one thing I understood early on was this: if I wanted to evolve, I couldn't afford to blame others. There was a time in my early business days when nothing seemed to go right. It was so easy to blame the market, the economy, or even the people I worked with. But then it hit me. If I ever wanted to move forward, I had to take full ownership of my outcomes, both good and bad. And that shift changed everything. Instead of waiting for my situation to improve, I focused on improving myself. That change in mindset made all the difference. Here's the truth: personal responsibility leads to personal power. The more responsibility you take for your life, the more control you have to shape it. Blame has no power. Accountability has all of it. So let me ask you this: how much responsibility are you willing to take for your success? Because your answer to that question will determine how far you can go. Now, let's clear something up. Taking responsibility doesn't mean doing everything alone. One of the biggest myths about success is that it's a solo mission. It's not. You need people, mentors, a team, a support network. Taking responsibility means it's your job to find those people, to build the right relationships, and to place yourself in the right environments. It's on you to seek out connections that will help you grow. You are responsible for who and what you surround yourself with. Which leads to another key truth: your environment matters. Show me the people you spend the most time with, and I'll show you the direction your life is heading. If your circle is full of negative, small-minded, or toxic individuals, success will always feel out of reach. But if you're surrounded by driven, positive, forward-thinking people, you'll start to rise to their level naturally. There's a saying I love, iron sharpens iron. When you're around sharp, ambitious people, they challenge you. They push you. They inspire you to level up. That's why curating your circle is so important. Success is not just about what you do. It's also about who you do it with. And now, let's talk about something even more powerful: contribution. It might seem counterintuitive, but if you want to attract more success, focus on giving, not just getting. Success isn't about what you can take from the world. It's about what you can offer. The more value you bring to others, the more success flows back to you. That's just how life works. You've heard it before: you reap what you sow. Sow generosity, support, and value, and you'll harvest abundance, success, and fulfillment. The most successful people aren't asking, "What's in it for me?" They're asking, "How can I serve? How can I help? How can I make a difference?" Let me give you an example. Think of the world's most successful companies. What do they all have in common? They solve problems, meet needs, and provide value. Their focus is on serving their customers, and because of that, success follows them. That same principle applies to your life. If you want to attract success, look for ways to add value to the lives of those around you. When you do that, you'll find that success starts to find you. And don't overthink it. Contribution doesn't always mean big, dramatic actions. It starts with small things: showing kindness, putting effort into your work, being a positive influence. It's about showing up consistently and meaningfully. And here's the best part: the more you give, the more you grow. Every time you add value to someone else's life, you grow in character, in wisdom, in experience. That growth is what draws success to you like a magnet. Let me share something personal. One of life's greatest rewards is knowing you've made a difference, that you've helped someone move forward or overcome a challenge. That's where real fulfillment comes from. That's what gives your journey meaning. And when you live with meaning and purpose, success becomes a natural outcome. You don't need to chase it. It starts chasing you. So remember this: becoming someone who naturally attracts success isn't about chasing something outside of yourself. It's about doing the internal work. It's about building the mindset, habits, and character that draw success toward you. Take ownership, stay consistent, be positive, and above all, add value wherever you go. When you become that kind of person, success will follow.